Have you ever woken up one morning and felt something inside you quietly shift? The things that once made you happy, the noise, the rush, the approval of others, no longer touch your heart the same way. The parties, the plans, the endless goals, they start to feel hollow. Even the achievements that once gave you pride now seem strangely empty. You sit in silence and whisper to yourself, "Why do I feel this way? Where did my sense of meaning go?" If you felt this emptiness after turning 40, you are not broken. You are awakening. Something deep within you is stirring. Something ancient, timeless, and sacred. It's the quiet call of your soul. The part of you that's tired of pretending. Tired of chasing. Tired of living for everything, except peace. You begin to sense that life isn't just about success or survival. You start to crave simplicity. A slower pace. A softer heart. A truer connection to what really matters. The outer world begins to lose its hold. And the inner world starts whispering louder, inviting you to return home, to yourself. That ache in your chest is not sadness. It's remembrance. It's your soul saying, "There's more." You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to awaken. Before we begin this journey together, if you believe that life is more than just ambition and survival, then please, subscribe to Inner Divine. Because here, we don't chase enlightenment. We remember it. We walk together, through healing, awakening, and peace. And as you listen, you'll realize, you were never lost. You were only being called home. After 40, something profound begins to stir within us. It's not a crisis, it's a calling. Not a breakdown, but the beginning of a breakthrough. For years, we live in motion. Building careers, raising families, collecting things. And seeking approval from a world that never stops demanding more. We chase success, thinking it will bring peace. We achieve so much, yet somewhere inside, we start to feel hollow. As if something essential has quietly slipped away. Then one day, amidst all the noise, a faint whisper rises from within. Is this really all there is? That question shakes the very foundation of your identity. You may feel restless, detached from the life you once built. You may begin to crave silence more than stimulation. Meaning more than money. Depth more than distraction. This is not depression. It's your soul awakening after years of sleep. The things that once defined you, your job, your status, your possessions, suddenly start to lose their power. Because what's truly happening is your inner world calling you home. In your 20s and 30s, the ego takes the wheel. It drives fast, building, proving, conquering. It says, you'll be happy when you have more, when they approve, when you win. And for a while, it works. You build identities around titles, achievements, and validation. You feel powerful, needed, important. But after 40, something begins to shift. The same game no longer excites you. The victories feel empty. You no longer crave to compete, you crave connection. You no longer want to impress, you want to express. Slowly, the structures built by the ego start to crumble. Friendships that were once comfortable begin to fade. Conversations that once thrilled you now feel meaningless. Even your ambitions start to dissolve. Not out of failure, but because they no longer align with your truth. It can feel unsettling. Like you're losing yourself. And in many ways, you are. The old you, the one built on fear, validation, and performance, is beginning to die. But this isn't an ending, it's a rebirth. The universe is gently stripping away everything false, so that only the real you remains. Raw, awake, and aligned. You're no longer living to perform. You're learning to be present. To live from truth, not from image. And that is the sacred unraveling of the ego. The doorway to your next evolution. You begin to hear an inner voice. Subtle, quiet, yet impossibly powerful. It calls you, not through noise, but through silence. It asks you to slow down, to breathe, to listen, to stop chasing what fades, and start feeling what's real. You begin to notice beauty in simple things. A walk at sunrise. The sound of rain falling softly on the earth. The laughter of someone you love. You realize, peace was never lost. It was only waiting for your attention. You start craving authenticity. Real conversations, honest emotions. Moments that make you feel alive again. You stop pretending to be fine. You stop wearing the mask that once kept you safe. And for the first time, you allow your heart to be seen. This is not weakness. This is awakening. This is your soul reclaiming its space. The beginning of remembrance. The soft, sacred pull toward the truth of who you are. You are entering the spiritual shift, where life no longer happens to you. It begins to move through you. With awakening comes healing. When the light of awareness enters your life, it doesn't just show you what's beautiful. It also illuminates the wounds you once hid in darkness. Old memories begin to rise. Childhood pains resurface. Unfinished emotions. And moments where you silenced your truth. Just to be accepted. Just to belong. Don't run from them. They're not here to hurt you again. They're here to be released. They surface now because your soul is finally strong enough to face them with love. So sit with your pain. Hold it gently, like a child who has cried too long. Whisper softly. I see you. I honor you. But I am ready to be free. Forgiveness becomes your medicine. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. For all the times you forgot your own worth. For all the years you lived disconnected from your truth. As you forgive, your heart becomes lighter. Your past loses its power. And in that quiet space that follows, healing begins to bloom. After 40, stillness is no longer optional, it becomes sacred. You begin to value your energy like gold. You choose silence over noise, truth over approval. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. Because your peace no longer needs validation. You begin to enjoy solitude. Not because the world has disappointed you, but because the divine waits for you there. In solitude, you finally meet yourself. You start listening to your own heartbeat. And it begins to sound like prayer. Meditation, journaling, and prayer. These are no longer spiritual luxuries. They become lifelines that anchor you. When everything else feels uncertain. Each breath becomes sacred. Each pause becomes a doorway. Each moment of awareness pulls you closer to your divine peace. The noise of the world slowly fades. And something miraculous begins to happen. The silence within you starts to sing. And that song is not of loneliness, but of remembrance. The remembrance that you were never apart from peace. In stillness, you don't escape life. You finally return to it. Peace is not something you find. It's something you remember. You realize, nothing outside you has ever truly defined you. Not your age. Not your title. Not your success or your failures. You were never the story. You were always the awareness watching it unfold. You are eternal consciousness. Living through a temporary human journey. A drop that has never been separate from the ocean. And when this remembrance begins to awaken in you, life starts to change its rhythm. You move slower. You listen deeper. You love softer. You forgive quicker. You begin to smile, not because life is perfect, but because you finally understand it doesn't have to be. You stop chasing peace and begin to live from it. Life no longer feels like a race to win. It becomes a sacred rhythm. A gentle dance between breath and being. Every sunrise feels like grace. Every silence feels like home. And every heartbeat whispers the same truth. You are already whole. You are already enough. In this stillness, you don't find peace. You become it. The real peace after 40 doesn't come from achieving more, but from surrendering more. You stop fighting the storms and start dancing with the wind. You stop trying to control life and begin to trust its sacred intelligence. You stop searching for purpose and start living in the quiet beauty of presence. Then slowly, a deeper truth begins to unfold. You were never lost. You were only being prepared. Prepared to love differently. To see life through softer eyes. To forgive, to release, to let things be. Every struggle was a teacher. Every heartbreak was an awakening. Every disappointment was a doorway, guiding you back home. To your soul. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And this still moment is where your true peace begins. If these words touched your heart today, don't leave without subscribing to Inner Divine. Here, we walk together through awakening, stillness, and the gentle unfolding of the soul. Every whisper you hear here is a reminder that you are guided, that you are seen, and deeply loved by the universe itself. There is no rush on this path. There is no race to win. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Sometimes, the quiet moments hold the loudest answers. Sometimes, the tears carry more truth than words ever could. Remember, you are not too late. You are right on time. Your second life begins when you awaken to who you truly are. Thank you for watching. This is Inner Divine. May peace find you, and live forever within you.